And we are go for
Back
first
from our
stream.
long hiatus.
First stream of the new year. Yeah, it feels good.
Ooh,
2024.
Yeah,
it all goes
What's
downhill
up?
from here.
What's the first movie you guys think you're gonna see this year?
That's what I was wondering. I still haven't seen like a 2024 one in quotes, I guess.
Oh, I
but
actually went to go see The Boy in the Hair, and I think it was
Oh, nice.
the first. I think it was this year.
I think it came
I
out
think it was this year.
last.
As in,
the
like,
very-
that I watched this
Yeah,
year in the
yeah.
theater.
Gotcha.
But, like,
For
you know,
sure.
yeah, if you're counting, like, movies that come out this year, then yeah.
I'm scared it might be The Beekeeper.
That's
I kind of want to go
mine
see
too.
it. Yeah,
I think that's gonna be mine.
I
Yeah.
it
couldn't
looks
help but think,
decently
like,
fun.
Yeah.
But
It's Jason Statham. I mean, can you go wrong? Really?
Yeah,
that
you
looks
I
can.
mean,
fucking ridiculous.
there's
No.
no good.
I mean,
You can't.
I might
does
go
look
see
it
it, but,
looks
like,
crazy.
I don't know, dude. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, what
it
sold
looks
me
like
was
it's
when
like
he attaches
in the
dude
trailer,
to the
it
truck
looked like
and
it was
sends
like
him.
memeing itself. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
For sure.
was like,
And like the trailer showed me so much. Like I feel like I watched the whole movie
That's
just
true.
in the trailer.
I hate when
That's
trailers
true.
do that, man. I can't like. No, I just couldn't help but think of like goofy ass taglines for that movie. Like,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's a beekeeper, and there's like a secret organization of beekeeper or whatever. Like,
the fuck?
I don't know, man. I
There's
wonder how
that
it
part in
works.
the trailer.
Who will get stung?
But yeah, right. There's
What would
definitely
you
gonna be
do
those
for
types of
honey?
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, was in the trailer? It's like, who knew it was flammable or whatever, the
Yeah.
honey or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, honey. Who the fuck knew?
Just setting people on fire with it. But
The new napalm.
yeah. But yeah, back on the grind for the watch list, for the streams here. Got some Coen brothers, got some new movie chest picks here. Feels good. Feels good to get back into the Coens, honestly. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
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 This
Should
early
we-
stuff with the Coens is so different. Like just thinking about
crazy.
what's to come.
sure.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of get a taste of like what they're writing, like the build up to the more of their, I guess, more dark and kind of dark humor stuff, kind of building. But yeah, it's just interesting. It's an interesting realm for sure.
What are like
Yeah.
so many genre, like already early on genre bending stuff, like thriller to kind of like goofy comedy, action comedy to mob movie, like
A little bit of
Yeah.
everything.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and I will say, probably not a good thing that I just watched all that mob shit before I watched this. I don't know. I feel like that
Watched The
kind of
Godfather,
influenced,
right?
like my
Yeah.
take on this, but
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
that's a pretty
Honestly,
rough
watching
follow up, I'd say.
Sopranos going into this to the opening monologue of Miller's Crossing, I was like, I just can't believe this guy's Italian. Sorry,
Yeah.
I've been watching Sopranos and
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, that's like exactly how I felt.
Well, do we want to do Miller's Crossing or should we do the movie chest first? What do you guys want to do?
Let's do movie chess. Let's just get it taken care of.
That
Yeah.
kung fu.
This one,
Yeah.
I mean, this one I feel like everybody knows the name. It's like on the list if you cared enough to like go for it. But Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck
It's been
yeah.
I've never seen it. I don't think has anyone here seen it?
I hadn't seen it either.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's
Ang
if
Lee.
you've seen The Incredible Hulk by Ang Lee, you've seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in terms of jumping. And
Yeah.
he rolled right off this set, brought all the cables with him, and he said, "Let's send the Hulk." So
Yeah. I respect
Like-
it. I respect it.
This team of wire workers, best in the business, can't let them go.
Yeah, straight up.
It was some good shit.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Like,
man.
as in, like jumping off those buildings and shit, like just like
Yeah.
the flying effects, or like in the fucking trees and stuff. The
Yeah,
way it
that-
moved.
she like comes down and runs on the water a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Crazy
those kind of
shit.
effects were really good.
Yeah, I'm crazy. You didn't see like it's like so much wire work, and I didn't see like one little paint out or like actual
Yeah.
see the wire.
Yeah.
Like
it was
and
clean.
the way they framed it, you'd imagine like all the work that has to go into it too. But
Yeah, especially like those
Good
close
stuff.
quarter buildings and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it does go. I mean, I love the. I mean, I'm assuming this is like homaging all like of some Chinese nature that I obviously don't have the culture for, but like I love the jumps, I love the bounding and stuff like that. I wonder about the flying straight up, like legitimately just like sailing through the air. But
Yeah,
yeah,
at some point I'm like, is this like, are there supernatural aspects? Were these people like actually flying right now? Like,
yeah, right. Yeah,
Mysticism.
I guess I should have known with the fucking vibranium sword or whatever. Like,
the
yeah.
green destiny.
which I mean, like, they just said they didn't know what it was made of, so or a rare metal or some shit. So.
Yeah, that
Space
sword was
rock.
badass, dude. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
just
sword
the
is
look of
fucking
it. Yeah,
badass.
the introduction to it. That shit was good.
It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like this. I mean, I don't know if I loved it. I got a little bored, I'd say, but that's just maybe my
Yeah.
disconnect from the culture. I maybe playing its toll, but the action sequences seem to be like the highlighter, like what the thing's trying to like excel at, and I don't. I mean, 100%. Like it kills it in those moments. So
Yeah, same here. I was just kind of it drug ass a little bit here and there when they're like telling the story and building the characters, which is fine because obviously you're just waiting for the next kung fu scene. But even
Hmm.
my complaint with the
I
kung fu
actually didn't feel
scenes,
that way. I
no,
don't know.
Yeah.
my only
I'll get
complaint
into
with the
that.
kung fu scenes was there was sometimes where it was too many cuts. I felt like it should have been like the wide shots. I don't know. They put so much work into like the wire work, like we were mentioning earlier, that I felt. I mean, the choreography was great. Don't get me wrong. There were just some scenes where it was just kind of sloppy. It felt the editing, but
yeah,
yeah,
I can kind of
Gotcha.
see that, I think.
Yeah, I did notice they do a specific thing with the camera work where like to make things look faster, they like move it like
yeah.
away and quick. I don't know.
Mhm.
To be honest, I thought it worked for most
I
of the times when
loved
I
it.
saw it.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
as far as like quick cuts and stuff, yeah. But also, I think like I've been realizing that I don't know, stuff with like full subtitles. I think I'm just like more engaged because I have to pay attention to like the subtitles.
Yeah, you're forced to. Yeah.
Because like yeah, I didn't really like feel that. The only time I felt like a lag was when they introduced like the random love interest guy
Yeah.
from the
Yeah,
desert.
Desert
That's
Bandit,
when it
whatever.
started to
Yeah.
lag for me. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to get out of the sequence. And then after that, I was like, all right, I'm in. Because like I don't know, I liked Limu Bai or whatever the fuck, I don't, the master guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I was not expecting. I don't know, I wasn't really expecting the end to go how it did either. But I don't know. I guess I kind of liked how Michelle Yao Yo
Yeah.
yeah
Yo.
I don't know how she basically like didn't realize until too late like of a course of action that she should have taken in her life, so she like influenced this younger person, like passed on her wisdom to do what she wanted,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did like the whole like mentor aspect, her and
Mhm.
Lin
Yeah.
Mu Bai.
I don't know.
going for.
I thought it was like kind of interesting how like um the Jade Fox, I think is what they called her. Like she was the antagonist of the like movie, but it was like kind of like a lesser, I don't know, like it was like a lesser plot. Like I don't know, I feel like it
Yeah.
was more about these two like wise old people trying to like mentor this young girl into like the path that she should take, which is I don't know. I like that. I don't know. I liked that
For
a
sure.
lot.
Me too.
It doesn't feel like the standard, like American storytelling either. It kind of
Yeah.
leaves you in places that you're not ready for. Most Chinese movies that I've seen probably less than 5, but it's always like the ending kind of is like in a place where it's just like, oh, okay, like you gotta like kind of take it, But
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I was just expecting her to like make the antidote fine and he would like survive.
Same.
I
was,
really
like,
was not
expecting that
expecting
fairy
him to
tale.
die. Yeah,
yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, it was
but
cool.
I kind of
mean,
liked it better how it went. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's more tragic,
his-
obviously.
his
right?
last breath, professing love. It's like, goddamn,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that fight between her, Michelle Yeoh, and her Padawan in
Oh,
like
like,
the
and towards the
courtyard
end?
or whatever. Yeah.
That was
Like that one
amazing.
stood out. I was like, this
Yeah.
is dope. Picking up different weapons and shit. And
Yeah, that's where the
Yeah.
cinematography really stood out to me too. In the fights
Yeah.
of like backing up from them, like with the sword coming out of like the side of the frame. That was just like, I don't know. Honestly, Ang Lee is kind of like a versatile director. He's got some wild card. He does like Brokeback Mountain and shit, and like
Oh,
Sense and
shit. I was
Sensibility,
wondering.
and he does like stuff like this and Life of Pi and Taking Woodstock, and I don't know, it's
Incredible
weird.
Hulk. Or
Incredible
the
Hulk.
Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk. Yeah, like
yeah.
OG.
Classic.
It's weird, but it's good. Like some of it lands, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think also just like this, I was realizing watching this, like Chinese or Asian sword fighting styles, I feel like are just like so much more interesting to watch, or just like so much cooler than like, I don't know, your traditional like European sword fighting styles or like Game of Thrones type shit. Just because like, I don't know, they're like fucking knights and they're just hacking at each other, and this is just like fucking swinging
like
and
fluid.
shit. I don't know.
Like all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
flow.
obviously, yeah. It just like
Yeah.
seems, I don't
Yeah.
know, more natural or
I know
fun to-
Michelle
fun to
Yeoh
watch,
is
I
like,
guess.
I think she's,
Mhm.
I mean, she's a multi-talented martial artist, but I know like Tai Chi, I feel like you could definitely see like that coming through in her fight style,
Oh
like the
yeah.
ebb
for
and
sure.
flow. Dude,
Yeah,
when
I
she
love.
grabs... No, go ahead.
I mean, I love the sword like sequences too, but I also love like how they go into like the like finger play or like the pressure point play sometimes, and it's just like the thumbs are just as threatening as like the sword. It seems like up to the neck, you know, like
Yeah.
yeah, that's like it really goes into like the kung fu of it all too, and it's not only swords, which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It, like
Did
pushes
you
the anime feel.
Yeah,
the
I like
the,
it.
the watching this in the fight with the girl when she's at the, I don't know, saloon, bar, inn, whatever it was. I mean, that was just Kill Bill, or I guess Kill Bill was the
Dude, like
Crazy
that's
88.
exactly what I was thinking. Like,
there's a lot of Kill Bill
Kind of epic.
taken from this.
Yeah.
I mean, even like there was just DNA. It felt like the staircase up the
Mhm.
mountain, and like I mean, Tarantino. It felt like
one
he
badass sword made by a
Yeah.
badass sword maker.
Yeah.
Cutting
yeah,
through other swords, like
yeah. I mean, he definitely did his version because it's only like
Yeah.
4 years later, I'd say, or so, or like even less maybe. So he might have just
I
like
don't know. I
wrote
think Kill Bill came out in like
stuff right after.
2003 because I was thinking
Yeah.
about this. I just watched it with somebody else, and because I think this came out in 2001. So like, yeah, really not too
Oh, pretty
far
close.
Like
after.
right after he
Yeah,
saw that and he
yeah.
got inspired or something, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe,
But
yeah.
Yeah, breaking other people's swords and shit, like
Just chop 'em
cutting
in
right
half.
through them.
Even like the comedy aspect of it, I guess, like when she's fighting those, that's kind of like when Beatrix is fighting the Crazy 88, you know, spanking the kid, and I don't know, it just, you can just tell the, I don't know if it's the direct influence or just kind of like maybe that's other Japanese or Chinese films, kung fu films are like that. Maybe it's,
Yeah.
maybe there's more than just Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon influencing
yeah.
that, but it definitely felt straight. Like, oh, I see the influence for sure.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I really also
Also-
just yeah, go ahead.
I looked it up after. Did you guys like the title was kind of like lost on me until I looked it up after because it doesn't really explain or say
Same.
anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, did you guys look up anything about it?
I did actually.
No,
I had a
I was
guess
curious.
before that was like hidden power and fury like underneath. Obviously,
Yeah.
you know, like but
It's basically just like hidden potential or like, you know,
Yeah, or,
untapped
like, the
potential.
the people you are like interacting with like or have like that beneath them then you might not know it or something, you know.
Yeah.
Which makes sense about like the story with the young girl and Michelle Yeoh and
That's cool. Yeah.
for sure.
Interesting.
I had to look it up too though because I was just like, so Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Like,
Yeah, how did this come in?
Fighting style. What do we...
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, the only other thing I really noted was like the background audio was really solid, and especially in the first half of the movie with just like the peaceful, natural vibes going on with like birds and crickets and stuff like that. It just, I don't know, you really felt like you were there, and it made me invest in the scene easier. So, well done.
Yeah, yeah. We talked about a couple times the wire work, but when they're on those trees at the end, when they're chasing each other and they're like bouncing on the trees, like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just the choreography and the setup to get that to where they're like holding the trees down, standing on. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't as difficult as what I'm thinking, but like you still have to have
That'd be difficult
some sort
still.
of balance and control
Yeah.
of the. Which is cool.
For sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
respect that for
especially
sure.
near
I
the
didn't even think
beginning
about
where
that,
they're
but
like
yeah.
bouncing between trees and shit. Like, yeah, that had to take some thinking.
Yeah.
Definitely.
'Cause there's a lot of bending trees in that sequence,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah,
Like that's just like a lot of unaccounted shit. Like
Yeah,
Just
one branch
dangling up in
breaks,
the
dude.
air, like fucking like
Yeah.
puppeting them like around trees, right?
Yeah.
That's the move, right?
props to the crane man. So good,
Yeah.
good for that guy.
Looks
He's
good.
union. Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid pick. Yeah, good pick.
Yeah,
Don't really
it
have
was
any comments on it, but
kind of like one of those one that's been on there for a long time, just because I always saw it on different streaming services and was like just always curious about it. So yeah, glad we got to hit on it. It's nice.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Finally checking it off. I don't think I
Yeah.
loved it as much as I was anticipating, but I enjoyed it. Solid movie. Very fun. I'm glad I've seen the influence now, so
What would
I
you
get
guys
it.
rate it? I guess if we are gonna give it the ratings.
I'm like at a 3, I think.
To be
Yeah.
honest, I actually gave it a 4.5.
Nice.
Oh shit, nice.
I
I
don't know.
waffled.
Thinking
I liked it a lot.
4, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could see 3.5 too, but I think my appreciation for this movie could grow in the future. So
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was waffling between 3.5 and 4. Ended on 3.5, but yeah,
nice.
it's one that
Got
I'd be like, yeah,
all up the scale here
eh.
from 3 to 4.5. I like it.
We run the gamut. We got tastes.
Right, multifaceted.
Yeah.
Speaking of multifaceted, over to the Coens then. Shall we?
Great transition.
Look at that.
What a segue.
Smooth. Yep. Miller's Crossing, the third Coen Brothers movie, 1990, written by the brothers, directed by Joel Coen, produced by Ethan Coen. Though it's just weird shit.
Yeah. See what they do there.
Yeah. But yeah, starring Gabriel Byrne and Marcia Gay Harden. Kind of a more subtle Coen Brothers movie. Definitely not one that people jump to talk about, in my experience.
Right.
But
yeah, it's not like synonymous, really.
Yeah, I had
First
never
time
heard
watch.
of this movie before, to be
Really?
honest.
Yeah,
me
fair.
neither.
First time as well.
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
so first time
same.
watches for everybody. So that shows that definitely.
Yeah.
But what'd you guys think of this one?
I think I already kind of said. I mean, I had just watched coming off like The Sopranos and Godfather. I think this was already a bad choice to follow those. So
Yeah,
I was kind of meh, but
that's fair.
Yeah, I mean to follow up on that or to piggyback off that is I'm currently I'm in the finishing up The Sopranos, so I'm deep in the mob life, and going into it with that first monologue, I thought, oh, this is gonna be a little cringe, and yeah, the mob stuff is kind of loose and loosey goosey with it, but I think the core of it is what this guy is scheming and what his end goal is. So that's kind of took me away to where I didn't have to focus on the mob so much. It was more so of how he is maneuvering through both of
The
these
situations.
families. Right.
Yeah.
So
That's a good way to look
So,
at
yeah.
it, honestly. Yeah.
as it went on and progressed and got picked up pace, and with the pace that it picked up, it also the dialogue got quicker, the people got smarter and wittier. It was just, I don't know, it started getting more and more fun as it went on and more engaging for me. So overall, I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot.
Same. Yeah, I felt that same thing. I was like, maybe like the first half hour, 45 minutes, I wasn't too sure if I was going to be as engaged, and then honestly, what got me was when he's talking to what's his name? Was it the Casper? He's like basically giving him putting that deal on the plate of
Mhm.
turn in Bernie and then everything will be kosher. And he refuses. And he hits that guy with the chair. And he's just
Oh, Jesus, John.
he just stop. Yeah. Walks out.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I dig this. I'm in.
Yeah, there's some moments of comedy there too, like when he lands on the woman when they're in the crowd.
Yeah.
She's like, "Ah." Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, the introduction of Bernie too was another kind of his character just made it more interesting. Little Steve Buscemi in there. I was like, okay, I was getting to know these characters a little more, and yeah, like you said, Alex, wondering how he's going to navigate all these shifting, playing the angles and everything like that.
Right.
Was fun to stick around for.
Nice. Yeah. I think I'm kind of on the Joe side of it, honestly. I didn't really enjoy this one that much. I think it's one of the weakest, if not the weakest Coen Brothers movie I've seen, honestly. I don't know. And that's not, I mean, it's hard to judge it because with prolific directors, I just find the scale to be weighted differently than every other movie, where it's
For
you
sure.
have to judge them against their other ones for some reason.
Especially the ones you hold at such high esteem,
Yeah, it's hard to
they have
compare.
perfect movies,
For sure.
so it's just, yeah.
Definitely. So this one, it just did not engage me. Honestly, the main Gabriel Byrne, the main actor, I don't know, he just didn't really draw me in. Didn't really show me like what he was like feeling or like, and
That's
maybe that's
interesting.
the the cheekiness of it, where it's like, to me, honestly, it felt like a tongue in cheek Chinatown attempt, and and
I
it's
can see
almost just
that.
as boring in my opinion, which is like sad, but I would say it's better than Chinatown, or maybe I don't know. I enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what elevates it above Chinatown, because Chinatown is just drop dead boring, in my opinion. I don't get the hype for that movie, but the dialogue I think saves this movie a lot of the time,
There
where
are
it's like
moments
it's
where it's
quick
hot. Yeah.
and yeah,
I
it's
have noticed
snappy.
that they are pretty good at like writing dialogue. I don't
Yeah,
know. At least these last three, I feel like
Yeah.
that's been like a shining light for me personally. Like the dialogue has always been pretty good,
yeah.
For sure.
except for that
Yeah.
guy, the fucking PI in the first one.
That guy was
God.
I
wild.
don't know, he just like said nonsensical shit all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, it was pretty tough at the beginning to get me into it. The first, all three of these movies for the Coens, they kind of just start like pretty dense. Like they just like throw you into like names and
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
like,
It was
and I'm
kind
just
of
like,
interesting. That very first scene, I couldn't tell. Like, it's like I assumed it was an homage to The Godfather. Maybe it was just because
Is
I
it?
just watched The
Mm.
Godfather.
It
But
might
like,
be.
I mean, they start pretty much exactly the same. They're in like very similar ways. They're in like the guy's fucking office, and they're talking to him about something they need done, or some guy they need fucking murdered.
Sounds like it's pretty similar tracking to me. Like
Yeah.
eh. I mean, that's why I feel like they had like these inspirations, because I felt Chinatown for sure. I haven't watched Godfather
But
in
then
a
it goes
long
like in a
time.
different direction. But like they basically, I don't know, they are similar, except like, I mean, in this they're kind of against each other. Like it's like the two, I
Mhm.
don't know.
Mhm.
Two mob
That's not really
families,
the
so
case. Yeah, that's
yeah.
not really the case in The Godfather. But
Mhm.
I don't know.
I definitely felt that. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I felt like it felt, at least in the beginning, they were trying to like emulate that stuff a lot more, and it sort of, for me, it like fell into like actually feeling like its own mob movie later.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like,
That's,
is
I
this just
mean,
like
that's
ripping
good.
stuff off straight up? But and then as stuff went on and you're watching Tom like navigate, it's like, okay, this is actually, it felt more
Finding
like
its
it.
own character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it feels like they had these two like banger ideas off the bat. And like I feel like the third idea is like the hard spot where you hit. It's like you got to like find something new after you've put so much time and effort into like your first ideas. And it's like they pulled it from like stuff they like, and it, to me, it added up a little bit, but it was just like, it's kind of weird, because I'm curious about Barton Fink, the next one. I'm excited
Yeah.
about it, and then Hudsucker Proxy. But it feels like those movies have none of the like acclaim or prestige until they get to Fargo, and then they like hit
Right.
something like
Yeah.
juicy in their like
Mhm.
in their repertoire or whatever. But I don't know. It's like they're still finding their footing here, in my opinion, on like what they can do and say. And this one, I just didn't feel like they said that much to me. But
I also felt like they're like zany nature that comes through in some of their movies. Like I felt like in this, it was just like off-putting. I didn't know if it was just me. Like it was a lot of times of like really just extending things. Like for instance, like when what I don't even remember which character it was, because it happens like multiple times where there's like a shootout or people shooting guns, and it just goes on for like ever. Like it goes on way too long.
dude,
And like I
Tommy gun.
assumed that was just to be like zany or goofy, and for me, I
Yeah.
don't. It was just like
Having
kind of
fun.
off-putting. I don't know. I didn't really like it. I thought it was weird.
Pacing
Or
was a little
like
weird.
I don't know. Like sometimes like fuck, I can't even remember his name, but like characters just like keep yelling constantly.
Oh my God. That was
nonstop.
the only thing
Oh my
that really
God,
got on
dude.
my nerves. That dude
Yeah.
screaming. Yeah.
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 I don't know.
That,
I think
yeah.
it was supposed to be like their normal like zany nature for like both of those things. I think it just didn't really work
Just
for
doesn't
this.
come out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too
Hard
dry,
to
a
fit
little
that
bit
in
dry.
and feel good. Yeah, in a mob movie that's meant to be like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Dude, I did Google after this scene happened. I was like, how many rounds are in a Tommy gun? 'Cause I was just like,
know, right?
dude,
I'm like, dude, he's totally out of ammo. Like,
it's 50 to 100 rounds potentially with a circular
Oh.
magazine. So like, you tell me, was that 100 rounds?
I don't. We can go
Yeah,
back.
it was at least 50.
It's
Like,
gotta be. It's at least
cleared
50, yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, it was cool. Like he kept his cigar, and at the end, he just pops it back in. Like he ashes it, puts it in his pocket. I mean, kind of
Yeah.
badass.
I mean, that moment picked the movie up for me. Obviously, once you see the guns start firing, the action. I mean, it was pretty
I
slow
mean, he
up to that
threw it
point.
out
So
the fucking window of the second story. That was pretty badass. I'm like, what's
Yeah.
he fucking doing?
Yeah,
And then he
he's-
just jumps off the
he's just
fucking
like,
roof.
yeah, he's like an old man, but just
Ninja
like
away.
bounding down.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty badass.
Yeah,
My
that's cool.
actually, similar to that, my favorite part of the movie was when is his name Tom? Maybe it wasn't that good. I don't remember the main character's name. The main guy.
A lot of names.
When he jumps out the window after talking to Totoro. I can't remember his name either.
Bernie
But when he,
Birnbaum.
when he jumps out the window and he runs down the hall with the pistol, I don't know. I just really enjoyed that whole sequence
Yeah.
of the camera work going into that and then him tripping and falling. I just-
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
too.
That's what I was gonna say too. It was like they were like very similar on like how they got out of the building, and then
Yeah.
like he just like totally, I don't know. The fucking dude was like waiting for him.
Yeah,
he
he just
tripped
knew.
his
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought some of the like blocking choreography, they had some good stuff. Some of it was like didn't land fully, like they didn't get it right, especially with like the fight choreography early in the movie. Like some of the just, I don't know. I mean, it's like they're doing the kicks, they're doing the punches, but it's like you can just tell it's fake. One of the moment is like Turturro like getting his face dragged across the glass of the. It's like when they're about to go out to like execute him the first time. It's a great idea, and then he gets in the truck, and then the audio's all in there, and it's staying on the main character out the. So it's like a great idea. It's like they just don't have the execution or the will to be like, let's do it again yet or something, you know, like.
Yeah.
But it's there. It's like they got the good ideas there, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they have a good foundation.
And I mean, the execution scene, the first one, is the highlight of the movie, in my opinion. It's a great scene.
Oh,
It feels like it's treading on a little bit of similar ground as like Blood Simple, just like what they've done before a little bit. But
I felt at the end of this movie, it felt like they took Blood Simple and kind of juiced it up with like the half truths and like the characters not knowing everything and assuming things and coming to their own conclusions without ever being told what the real like what really happened. So yeah, I got that vibe too.
Yeah.
Coming towards the end of the movie, yeah.
it's just hard because that scene with him and the pistol and the cornfield is just so much more tension filled and juicy. I guess because I care about both those characters more, you know. But
Yeah.
that's, I mean, when that scene when he like spares him, I don't know, like Miller's Crossing, this is like literally the encapsulation of like a lone car on a road in the middle of nowhere, you know, like it's like that they go out to Miller's Crossing, like I don't know, it's just, I was like trying to wrap my head around, because that's like the Coen brothers staple, and this is like the actual like manifestation of like that staple, if that makes sense. You know. I kind of like it maybe more as just like a flavor of their style as more than just like that actual focus. Does that make any sense? Am I crazy? But like,
I think
don't
so.
know.
Like it was a little too ham-fisted. You think? Like
It's just not. There's not much. Like that's like you have a scene that does that. It's not the whole movie, and then they go out there multiple times, and you know you lose its impact after a while. And I mean, now I have watched The Sopranos too. Maybe that influenced it too, because The Sopranos is playing at Miller's Crossing a lot, especially in the later seasons. I don't know. I've seen it now, so I don't know. I don't know. That's just my taste, I guess. But
yeah, that's fair. I'm with you. I think it's one of their lower ones, but I don't know. I still enjoyed it. I was surprised that they were able to pull off like a half decent mob movie. I was not expecting. I didn't even know. Like I didn't know this was a mob movie going into it. So I was like, "What the fuck? Coen's doing some mafia shit? Like,
yeah,
can they even?" I was like, "Oh no, could have been a lot worse, I guess, but still not amazing."
Yeah.
did you guys notice the Sam Raimi cameo?
Yes, I was gonna mention that.
Damn, I did not.
He was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some
When was it?
dude. It's like towards
Once
the
they blow
end.
up, yeah, they blow up the guy's joint, and then he's just standing there and he fires both pistols.
Yeah, he like shoots one dude or
Oh,
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It was just fun to see him there.
yeah. When they saw him, I was like, "The fucking Sam Raimi that they
Right,
just
yeah.
dropped in here."
Yeah, but I mean, it's it's pretty good. It's a Coen Brothers movie. To me, it's like nice to establish like a baseline here. I'm gonna give it like 3 stars, and it's like I can like kind of judge all the ones from now, on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back up.
I think I'm at a 3.5 with this one. I mean, the dialogue and writing really elevated it for me, and the story was kind of messy at times, a little confusing right off the gate because, like you said, they just kind of drop you in the situation, and you just kind of have to figure out your own way. But once I finally figured out my way and was there for like the dialogue sequences between, especially Dane and Tommy, I don't know, I just like those sequences, so it elevated it a little bit. So.
Nice.
I gave it a 3.5, and like, I guess like what I was thinking about is like, we've been talking a lot about like the rewatchability or like picking up shit
Mm.
on rewatch. I guess like I wonder what that would do for this.
I was thinking that
movie.
too, actually, because that dense scene at the beginning could be like totally understood if you
Yeah.
actually track it, the second time.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Weird. I didn't think about that. My immediate thought after watching this was like, I don't think I'm gonna go back and watch
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Same.
Yeah.
So
It's
But
See,
no,
fine.
yeah, I had the opposite thought. I was like, I kind of want to rewatch it just so I can, I don't know, maybe it'll feel
Yeah.
better and more
Pick this up.
digestible the
Yeah.
second go
Makes
through.
sense.
But
What do you guys think about
Yeah.
the ending of it, though? Too, I guess, like, because to me it was kind of like a weaker ending, where it's like there's not much like I'm being told about the character or like the situation, like just with like the little
Yeah.
push into the hat, like open, like to see his eyes, like
yeah,
I don't know.
I agree. When we finished, it was me and my mom watching it because she's down here this week, and she asked me, she's like, "So what was it trying to tell us?" I was like, honestly, I'm not sure. So maybe that's a bad thing.
you
But
gotta you gotta make it up for yourself.
I
Though,
mean,
right?
I don't know. Have you
Yeah.
been thinking about it since, or like
I
did
have.
it make you
I'm
think about
trying
it?
to. I'm trying to figure out what like his whole was. This his whole motive was to just get out of the mob the whole time, like
Yeah.
seal his
Mhm.
debts, change his ways, leave behind
Yeah.
this criminal past.
I
Just, I
took it
don't know.
as like
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was like a pretty good dude the whole time until
Right.
he lets the dude live, and the dude fucks him over, and then he basically is like, "I want to kill that guy now." Like,
Right. And now
that's how I
it's
took
like,
it.
who do you trust? You know?
Yeah.
And he like has to
Yeah.
get out, kind of. Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. It is very like interpersonal in his storytelling with like Leo and Vern, like the love interest, the feud or whatever. And so yeah, maybe through that lens, it makes a little more sense. Does to me at least.
I
Yeah,
guess
well,
like I don't know. Most of the time, I feel like I enjoy movies more when they keep me thinking about shit after
for
I'm
sure.
done with them.
For sure.
Yeah, it means something more, definitely. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're in early Cohen's, and it's still feeling good to me.
Yeah, we
I'm
got to
excited.
done more, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the next
So
one.
hype.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think it's kind of
think
like a little
curious.
different for them.
I've come to
so.
the realization that like I think the Coen brothers for me are gonna be like Kubrick for you, Alex. Like
Oh,
I don't know.
that's a
I'm
bummer.
just not really. I think they're just not really my thing, which is
Wow.
fine. Like
That's-
we'll
yeah,
go
that's
through
cool.
it, and I'll be able to like I don't know examine some good shit. But like
Yeah.
overall, I think it's just not really my style.
Have you seen No Country for Old Men, Joe?
I was
I
just
actually
have
gonna
not.
bring that up.
So
That's
I
the
guess
one
we'll
I think
see.
might like sell them
Okay.
maybe, but
I
we'll
mean,
see.
a lot of people have told me to watch it, so I mean,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
skip
Good
it.
one. That is a really good
That was one of my first Cohen movies. It's in my top 5. I think it's like my third or fourth favorite movie, like of all time. So
Yeah, that's so
one.
good.
Nice.
yeah,
Okay.
That
that
one put
one's
Javier Bardem on the map for me too. I was like, who is this guy?
It's crazy.
that's like
He's
one of the
really
most
insane.
rewatchable movies of all time too. Like you just turn it on and you're like, well, now I gotta finish. Like I'm just gonna put it on the background, but I end up sitting and watching the whole thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I wonder. There's another couple that I'm like excited to rewatch. I think the one I actually am most excited to rewatch is A Serious Man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think I
I-
might
I
really
was
like that
just-
one more, but we'll see.
I was just going through their filmography today, and I stopped on Serious Man because me and my friends talk about it a lot. Like that's one of the Coen brothers that we touch on a lot, just because my friend really likes it, and I liked it, but I think I'll like it more upon rewatch.
I think I
So
might too. Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that we rewatch that one and a couple other ones too. But
yeah,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But yeah, I mean,
maybe
did you
you'll
guys?
come around, Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's possible.
maybe. We'll see.
I don't know. There are probably some like hidden gems in there that I will
Oh,
like.
dude. Burn
Hey,
After Reading. Oh, brother, where
I
art
mean,
thou?
that was kinda
Like,
fun.
I
come
mean,
on,
to be
man.
honest, I'm rereading the Odyssey right now. I'm like 2/3 of the way through it because I
Oh,
wanted to
shit.
like when rewatching Oh Brother Where Art Thou, I'm just gonna like try to pick up the similarities because I've
That's cool.
Yeah.
heard that it's like loosely based on the Odyssey, but like
For sure.
from what I remember, like it doesn't seem like there's any connection at all. But possibly after rereading this, maybe I will pick up more connections.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought it would be like a cool little
That would be cool.
side
Yeah.
thing for me to do, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah. Give us the perspective. I'm curious
right.
when we get there. But you guys want to talk some stuff we've been watching, then talk some True Detective, or what you guys want to?
Yeah, I'm down. And then I can just drop out for True Detective. Or anyone else, yeah.
I haven't watched it, so
I'll definitely catch up for next week, though. I mean, I
Yeah,
fucking
cool.
love True
Same.
Detective. Or at least I love the first season, you know.
Right.
Same.
Hey,
Yeah.
The first three seasons, they all bang. The first
They're
season
fine.
is like a masterpiece. The second season is underrated. Everyone shit on it for no
I
reason.
should probably just watch it. I still
Yeah.
haven't seen this. I've watched the first and the third season. I totally skipped the second.
Oh my god!
Well, like I guess at the time when I watched the first one, it was only the first two were out, and then I watched three like when it came out. So
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Third
first one is
like
just hard to
harkens
come.
back to the
Yeah.
first season a little bit, but
yeah,
But the first season is like I don't know.
it's
that
so
was just
fucking good.
yeah. It's a whole nother
That's
level.
Matthew
Peak
McConaughey
television.
going through that drug house and then going through that fucking neighborhood.
Yeah.
iconic,
Yeah.
bro.
The fucking bayou.
Yeah.
Man, they're both just like so fucking good in that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk later, I guess. But this new season, I'm excited. So,
Okay.
but what else what you guys been watching in the break? It's been a couple weeks. You guys been watching some good stuff.
I've been grinding The Sopranos. It was
Fuck
funny.
yeah.
So the other night, I usually stay up with Ethan for until about 1 or 2. So I was watching Sopranos with him, and he doesn't open his eyes very often, but he opened his eyes right when Tony and Chrissy were chopping up a boy in a bathtub, and I was like, "All right, buddy, you're about to witness good television."
Like, this is the first thing you'll see, man.
Alex is
So, yeah.
raising a fucking serial killer, guys.
Yeah, that
God
image is just
damn.
implanted now.
Wait, is
I
that
do-
is that Ralph? Ralph?
Yeah.
Holy
Ralph.
shit!
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like,
So-
who is that at the time?
Dude, I
So-
love that scene where they realize he's wearing the toupee. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chrissy's
it's
like,
so
"Holy
good.
shit! Did you know?" He's like, "It was obvious." But what I've been noticing in this like later season, as it slowly builds and builds, like that whole tub sequence and Chrissy and Tony kind of bonding, like that's Walt and Jesse, and obviously the bathtub, that was the first episode of Breaking Bad, the bathtub sequence, and then them sitting on the couch as they're like taking a break. That's
Yeah.
later on in Breaking Bad where they're cooking in the houses, the bugging houses, and yeah, I don't know. It was just like, I get it now.
Got
This
the
is
DNA for sure.
yeah, and I think this might be a problem, but more and more. I'm like, am I Tony Soprano? Because him getting mad about animals getting harmed, that's like the one thing that gets me fired up. I can watch people get
Yeah.
hurt all day long or hear about it and be like, fine. But if you fuck with animals, especially like waterfowl, like goose,
His
turkeys, ducks,
Yeah, the water birds are the
chickens,
best.
that's what
I'm
I'm
playing
saying.
a lot of
Yeah.
Wingspan.
I just love Tony's like love for that horse. You know, like
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, so no, that I'm really enjoying that. So
Wait, so what
I'm
season are you
loving
in
that.
now? 5? 4?
I'm finishing up 4. I think I have 2 more episodes of season 4 because they
Yeah.
just put Chrissy in rehab. So
Gotcha. Okay. Wait, there's
Yeah.
6 seasons, right?
Mhm.
Okay, just a heads up. Season 6 has like 20 some episodes.
Yeah.
It's not the normal 13. Like
chunky.
when I went through it, I got to episode 13 and I'm like, that was a weird fucking way to end this show. And then
gonna
it just
wrap
started
this
going to
up?
14. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I do have some bad news. So I was listening to the Watch podcast, right? And before that, there was an advertisement for Andy Greenwald's new podcast coming out, and they mentioned it's about like the final episodes of certain prestige television, and they dropped he in the advertisement he says something about The Sopranos and so Tony, is it this or this? And I'm like, I went my whole life so far not spoiling anything about The
And it's
Sopranos,
from an
and it's
ad.
just yes.
Just some
That's
ad
like a
in
reckless
podcast.
fucking ad, man.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
what
know.
the
Yeah.
fuck, dude?
So I hope it
to
didn't
be
ruin it
fair,
for me. I'm
it's like
trying to forget
25
it.
years. It's like the 25th
Trying to block
anniversary
it
of The
out.
Sopranos this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
so
it's cool,
probably
man.
just
But
like if you haven't seen it yet, but like
But
I
I've
totally
gone this
understand.
long.
I'd be
I've
fucking
gone
pissed.
this long.
Yeah, you're like
you know?
almost there too.
Man, I can't wait
Yeah.
until you watch it all and we can finally talk about it.
Yeah, no,
Talk
I'm
it.
trying. I'm trying to finish it.
I
Yeah.
had something major spoiled for me when I watched it too. So I was waiting for
Yeah.
something huge to happen towards the end of the show too. So
Yeah.
I'm there with you. Don't worry.
You know, I
it's
feel
just
like
it's such a bummer because you
I
try to
used to,
forget
like-
it, but you know it's
yeah,
coming.
you know, in the
Yeah.
back of your mind. Yeah.
Man, I feel like
Yeah.
back in the day, I used to be an asshole and like spoil things for people.
Right.
But like, I don't know. It's just like I fucking hate getting. I don't know. I
There's a
would be
purity,
so
man.
pissed if The Sopranos got
Yeah.
fucking spoiled for me. So now I feel like I'm just like so careful about not spoiling shit for people.
For sure.
Yeah, that's fair. It
It's
depends
good
on
of
what
you.
I'm watching. If I really
I waited
care
like
about it or not,
3 years or some shit because I found out some shit about My Hero Academia about how he just has like a shit ton of different powers that he will get. I learned
Yeah.
about that like 3 years before it came out in the anime. So like I just had to not talk about it.
Damn.
I was like, oh, some crazy shit's gonna happen. Like,
How's it
Bro,
gonna
my-
end?
My girlfriend will like. She's told me she'll go to see a movie in a theater, and then like midway through the movie, look up a synopsis of like the movie, like the Wikipedia. I'm like,
What a
What?
maniac!
Can't
what?
wait.
I, like,
Can't wait
you're
till the
during,
end.
like halfway
during
through
the movie.
That's
Yeah,
fucking
I'm like, what?
crazy.
You can't just like see how it all unfolds. Like, it's yeah.
Talking
it's
about
like,
psychopath behavior, dude. I
That's
mean,
so crazy,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
I mean, like after, totally understand that. That's a green flag all the
Yeah.
way. This
Yeah.
red flag.
That's why I was like, you're in the movie, you paid for the ticket. Like, why are you
Yeah, it's like,
spoiling
dude.
yourself?
Yeah, go on the ride.
Have you guys all seen the Iron Claw yet?
I did go
I've
see it.
seen
Oh,
I was going
liked
to.
it.
I was thinking about it, but
me too.
That was my favorite movie now of last year. That was my number one.
hell yeah.
There has I don't the last movie I remember causing me to even get teared up or cry was I think when Will Smith choked out his dog in I Am Legend. So long time ago. But so I went and saw it and I was alone, only one in the theater, and I like at the end I just started like I got choked up and I'm like, what's wrong with me? I went and saw it again with Sarah as an experiment, right? And I'm like,
Mhm.
let's see if it does it again. As soon as the same spot, it just hit me again. I'm like, God damn. So
Hmm.
very good movie.
Wow.
Very good.
I think
Really
that
worked for
second
me.
kid, it unlocks something in you, man. Now
Must have.
you feel something. Wow.
I'm becoming human.
Yeah.
It's just hard as growing.
That's cool. I was actually one of my buddies went and saw it, and he was telling. We talked about it the other week where he's never credited a movie, and
Yeah.
like people think it's crazy. And I was
Who
like,
was it?
Should I name him? It was
Terry.
Terry.
Right? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was actually curious if
Or-
Terry was gonna go see that because like it's
He
like
did,
about wrestling and shit, right? This movie.
yeah. It's
Or
more like
like
it's more about the
Pirates.
theatrical side of wrestling, not like
Oh,
the
okay,
technical
gotcha.
side. But yeah, he said he didn't cry, but I did. I didn't think it would get me, and it got me at the end. So him with his
Was it
two
that
kids.
last?
Yeah, him with his two kids. I
Ugh.
mean, it set me off before that's with like the brother scene or whatever. You
Yeah,
know,
That's what got
I was
me
just like,
both
"Ooh,
times.
okay. And then that last scene with just him and his two kids, I was just like, wow, like you
I-
fucking did it.
Yeah, I think like those scenes don't normally like work. Like they're kind of cheesy usually, but for some reason, like same with like Midnight Mass when they have those like long monologues of what happens in the afterlife or what they want the afterlife to be, it just kind of like those things for some reason it's like that's what I want it to be. So maybe that's why it kind
For
of
sure. I mean, there's like a very
Yeah.
hopeful element there. That's like
yeah.
very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Nice,
don't know,
man.
it's just cool.
It was a very good one of the better biopics I've seen for sure.
Definitely.
It had like a journey and a message where like most of them don't have it. They just kind of give you
Yeah.
the life and like the what happened, and they do that in this one. But like
Yeah.
But is it what actually happened?
for the most part, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
they just got rid of two brothers. Like the one brother didn't even show up at all in the movie.
Yeah, just
And
like the
Oh,
then
I
younger
was just
one.
like, I don't know. I was just messing because
oh
like I remember like last year, watching fucking Zodiac and Barry and shit, and like talking about if shit that's like loosely based on real
Yeah, it could
events
be
like
just
is
making
real or
it up.
not. Yeah.
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 I mean, there's definitely like liberties
I
taken.
don't really even
but-
know anything about this movie, to be honest. I didn't even know it was based on like a person or something.
honestly, going
I
in
just knew
not
it was
knowing
sad.
anything about wrestling or the Von Erichs, I think that was the best way to do it. Because for me, it was just I was there in the movie and with them like in the moment, and it just felt very good. And afterwards, I
Maybe
looked up,
I'll
the Von Erichs and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
maybe
it's a
I'll go see it
tragic
this
story.
week. I don't know.
Do
you
See
it.
if
should.
it's playing at like the at the Alamo or something. Maybe I'll just go
It's
get some
it's
food.
pretty crazy what happens with the family and stuff. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah, I liked it a
but
lot.
yeah,
Yeah, it was on my list. I did want to go see it before it left theaters.
very
But
good, very good.
I've been watching more TV than movies. I binged both Gen V and Our Flag Means Death.
Hey, I watched Gen V. I just
Nice.
binged
What'd you
it too.
think?
I liked
Yeah.
it a lot. That would have been one of my
Me
top 5
too.
last year, I think. Honestly,
Hmm.
I think so too.
So
It's
like, did you like it before the last two episodes?
I loved it. I
yeah,
loved it the whole way through. Honestly, yeah.
Gotcha.
yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it definitely has like the same feel as like The Boys.
Oh yeah.
I guess like
yeah.
I don't know. I think for me watching it like weekly,
Mm.
I was just like,
I could see it not being as
I mean,
satisfying.
fine, but I don't really like care. Like I know these characters are just like side characters in this universe, and like possibly
played
the events of
some.
this season won't really matter.
I
But
mean, it seems
really,
like they're
like the
tying
last
some
two
stuff.
episodes are
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
actually like matters. Yeah.
Right.
Which
Right.
like I've heard that the next season of The Boys is the last season, so like I feel like
Really?
that could like really lead into the shit. I don't
I
know.
believe
Yeah,
it.
I could be wrong about that, but like I don't know. That's
like
what
a
I heard.
whole new seven or something like that, or like new people from the seven.
New people, and then like whatever
I don't
the
know. I
thing
just
is at
like
the
thought
end.
the repercussions of like
Yeah, the
what they were
infection or whatever the
doing.
fuck.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mm,
yeah, that's true.
that could be
because
crazy.
I mean, like I don't know. They kind of just like took that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they released, I'm assuming that something will come up about that, or
Mm.
like
Uh,
Yeah, I thought it was smart, man. Like it was really smart writing, and I mean, I love like sci-fi shit and smart, like realistic characters, and they're having fun in that show all like left and right. The writers are just having a good time with their characters and stuff like that, but then getting back to the point when they need to, and
yeah.
it was just fun. I had a great
I
time.
think like what I don't know. I think like what turned me off of it, which like isn't really a huge deal. I guess it's just like with The Boys. I mean, it's like making fun of like superheroes and shit. And like I don't know, this, I mean like you literally have these kids at the superhero school. And like a lot of them are like fucking around because they don't give a shit and they just know that they're above everybody else because they have powers and that makes them above everybody else. And like that's like the whole, divide. But like
yeah.
it's like the people who like actually like have powers and are the heroes, which is like that's just like normal comic shit. I don't know. I guess it's just like it's an interesting story, and like I don't know. I guess like I
To
really
me, it
shouldn't
felt
have
like
a problem
they're
with it. I guess
like
it's just like
X-Men.
deviating from what like made I don't know the boys the boys.
I mean, I get
I
that.
don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
I think Gen V is like wholly original. I want to say, but
Yeah, I can
it's.
see
I mean,
that.
it's obviously a spin-off of the boys, but like, there's no
Yeah.
like comic or anything.
I don't know. I guess it was just like really playing off like My Hero Academia for
Oh
me.
yeah,
I
I
mean, like
mean,
there were
Oh,
so
yeah.
so
many
much
characters
anime.
in Gen V that like had similar powers and shit too. Like
Mm.
Yeah.
So like the top fucking got to be top like number one fucking.
Yeah,
It's like so
exactly.
much like anime and
Yeah.
little like X-Men was there
rankings.
too. Me too. It felt like they were doing like a lot of different stuff and they had a lot of like teen backdrop. Obviously, like there's like she's like has to like pop like a thing in her like a pimple at the mirror and it's like blood or whatever. Obviously, like the main small chick has to like throw up every time she's like getting
Eating
doing the power.
disorders.
Yeah, so it's I mean it's got like a lot of stuff there and it's just fucking wild.
Yeah, I dug it. I thought it was like I don't know. I don't think it's as good as The Boys, but it's like right there. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I
What was
enjoyed
the
it.
other thing you said you watched?
Maybe it's excited for The Boys too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could just see like some of those higher rankings from that school. Like if Starlight ends up being one of the people who stays on the 7, it's like the new 7. These are actually like good heroes. They're good people.
At the
If
end
the
of the
Boys
show?
takes like if it's not, if the Boys goes for like a lighter ending and
I hope.
not everybody dies.
I need
but,
Homelander to
Yeah.
die the best death of like television
Yeah.
history almost. Like
Oh,
it's got to be
that feels
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, I'm ready.
Like that's like one thing I just have not wanted to look up either. Like how
Yeah,
fucking
same.
Homelander, like how the
Yeah.
comic
How The Boys ends.
Like,
Yeah.
Right.
I know they're kind of doing their own thing, but I'm sure they're trying to like. I'm sure there's like things that are going to be huge moments that are spoiled too.
Yeah. What did you?
But
You said Our Flag Means Death was the other thing you watched.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I mean, I loved the first season. I don't think the second season was like as great. I think it just sort of like, I don't know, Blackbeard sort of like just reverts a lot, to
Yeah.
too much, because like we got that in the first season. Or no, right? Yeah, like near the end of the first season, it's like
It kind of goes through a lot of the same, like a lot of similar.
arcs,
beats and
basically, yeah.
stuff, and so I was like, but it's still really good. I mean,
Or like relapses in
fun.
a sense. I just
Mhm.
heard that like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I don't know if it like is canceled or just
Yeah.
not renewed for a third season.
that's what I
But like,
heard.
I'm actually kind of okay with that. I feel like
Yeah.
the second season like ended, like it tied up the two main
Yeah.
characters' arcs at least. So I mean, like I don't know.
Not
other
much
than
more
that,
you
the rest of
need
the
to do.
characters kind of off doing their
Mhm.
own thing. Like you could do a spin-off if you wanted, but like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you'd have to
It wa-
basically rehash the whole like end of the pirate era or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It was a show that I watched and enjoyed when I watched it, but I never like looked forward to putting it on. It was kind of a weird experience, I guess. But
That was a good one to binge too.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
it was super easy. Yeah, the first season was like, it was gold. I think it was like great.
Hmm.
And they end the second season literally like, what's that smell? It's like, oh, it's the future. And it's like, yeah, just leave it. Just leave it there. It's good.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. Anybody
But
watching
that's about
Monarch?
it. No.
Legacy of
I've been like
Monsters?
reading stuff about it. That it's like I
Terrible.
don't. Did the finale finally happen or?
I think I have one more episode.
From what I
Yeah,
read,
Frozen.
I guess like they solved the Kurt Russell not being as old as he should problem that you brought up.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah, he was
talked
like
about that a
stuck in
couple
some
weeks ago.
hospital or some shit. I don't know. Anyways,
So you're not feeling it, okay?
no, it's
Because like
just
I guess
so
like,
bad.
dude, like everything I see it like articles or like anybody talking about that show, it seems like everybody fucking loves it.
Yeah, I
Or
can't
thinks
get it.
it's so fucking good.
You know, I'm on a different wavelength, man, and I'm fine with it at this point because like I listened to a lot of like lists of last year top lists or whatever, and
That are
like
just, like,
Silo
ridiculous.
was like
Yeah.
high on
Well,
everyone's list.
I guess
and I
like
was
that's
just
why
like,
I'm
no.
curious about your take on this because like I totally agree with you. I think
Yeah.
like Apple TV, like Apple Plus or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
stuff has like gone down in quality.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, like-
it definitely shifted into the Netflix like pump it out gear, and it's not good, man. And they need to like focus on the writing and do more original shit, but it's just like mind blowing to have a Godzilla universe and be one of the most boring fucking shows I've ever seen.
Damn, yeah.
It's just mind blowing.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. On the other hand, I'm watching the Percy Jackson show, and I'm not hating it. It's okay.
It's not bad. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I'm much
Yeah.
much more excited for the later seasons, obviously, knowing what like lies
When they get a
ahead.
little older, kids.
Yeah, when it's not as like silly and I don't know. It's at that point where it's like hard to believe and it's hard to like really connect with the actors and actresses
That's
because
fair.
they're so young and everything. But
They're saying lines that are clearly like not things that kids would ever like
yeah,
talk about, you know, like
yeah. It's like they haven't found the balance of like seriousness and fun in the universe yet, I think. But
that's fair.
yeah,
I like the
last
production
episode-
around it. Like
Yeah.
I like the moment that kind of sold me for some reason was like I've read the like first 3 books, but it's a long time ago. But
Yeah.
I think it's like Hades or some type of like demon or some shit or whatever, but like he sees like in his dreams like talking to him like Percy.
Yeah.
Just the visual of that moment showed me that they like care about like the essence of like the show. I don't
Hell
know.
yeah,
It
man.
just like sold me on it, but the
Yeah, I
visuals and
mean,
like the setting, and you can tell like the budget and the actors, and
yeah,
it's
there's
good.
actual care being put into it, which
Yeah.
is, I couldn't say for the movies, but
That's cool. Is that like?
dude,
Isn't that
yeah.
like on? Is that on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're doing it
Gotcha.
like they do a lot of stuff with Hulu now too. They just basically drop it on both,
I
which to
did
me
see
I think
that.
is a good strat, honestly. But
yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah. Wait, I guess like I'm curious. Why do you think that's a good strat?
well, I mean, like Disney Plus to me is like almost a useless service to like, because you can only do kids stuff. Therefore, you're just like limited in anyone that's going to be coming to your service. But you have like these things like Percy Jackson and like I guess Echo or whatever the fuck. But like
Deadpool, I guess. And
yeah, like
other
you're gonna
stuff
have
like
these
that.
things that cross over to like that other demographic that you have, but that you can't put on Disney because you're Disney, you know. So like
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think
Okay.
like you don't have to
does
be
give me hope.
exclusive. You can
Yeah.
put both to like the audiences. That's kind of
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I don't know. I guess like personally, I've been thinking about getting rid of Disney Plus because I just like don't really go on it anymore. I kind of don't really
Right.
want to. Yeah, I guess if they just throw all their shit on Hulu, maybe I'll just get rid of Disney Plus.
Yeah, I
Hulu's
mean
a
the only
big
stuff.
big name. People know Hulu. I mean, they know Disney obviously, but I don't know. I
Hulu's
guess
like that's
Hulu's
for
still
me
kind of
become,
mysterious. Like what's on it? I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
like
Yeah.
the stuff that comes on it. I feel like you can even the stuff that's deep. You can find like pretty good shit on it.
Yeah. I mean, there's effects on there at least,
Right.
Effects is
Comedy
good shit.
Central stuff and
Yeah.
yeah. That's what gives me hope for that series too. Because like once it gets a little more mature, like Hulu's there, like the fact that it's going on Hulu too is like all right, it can get darker, it can get cooler, and
Yeah.
touch on stuff. But
And if they do it right,
Dude.
I mean, they can definitely invest in spin-offs or whatever the other sequel series is like if they hit it right.
that'd be so fucking
Sure,
sick.
that's what they want.
The Greek and like Roman world camps coming together and stuff.
Mhm.
The gods are like the gods are basically going crazy because their personalities are being split between the two aspects. Ah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's
That'd be
awesome.
cool. Maybe someday. Let's see
Yeah.
it.
Dude, I did not even recognize Timothy Edmondson as Festus.
That was
either.
cool.
Yeah. I was like, good
was-
choice.
Yeah, that was such a, and he I don't know if you know, he like went through a stroke.
Yeah.
It's just nice to like see people giving him roles and like trusting him,
Mhm.
like
For sure. Apparently, Rick Riordan is like a big fan of Psych, so I think that's probably
hey,
like,
that's
yeah.
awesome. That's
So it's
cool.
like sick. Cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, a lot of like the god choices I think are like really nailing it. That's like
Same.
Lin-Manuel and stuff like that.
Yeah. I was
And,
even like
what's the dude?
Ares,
What's
the
the
god
drunk
war.
dude? The drinking god?
Dionysus.
Yeah, Dionysus. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the most
Good choice.
recognizable actor that you'd ever, but he's a great choice for it too. I thought, yeah.
He's got like that attitude.
Mantzoukas, Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah, Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays that. I was curious too because I was like, who are they gonna get as this like schlubby guy running the camp, talking down to kids? Like,
Right.
yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I'm in for it. I'll keep watching that one.
Yeah, I'm excited. It seems like you said, they're putting in the time, putting in the effort. So I'm on for it.
I've been watching a lot of Taskmaster. If you guys have ever watched that show, I am binging through. I'm almost like caught up with that show.
Yeah, Terry showed me it. It's like on YouTube.
It's
Right.
every episode's on YouTube. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was just
Gotcha.
okay. But I
Yeah.
think like also I'm just not really into like I don't know. I think I'm not really into stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I have like a weird view.
it's scratching my like
Or
whose
don't
line is
listen
it
to my
anyway itch,
perspective.
I think.
Okay.
Like it's just like 5 comedians or actors, British people usually, and they just have like silly tasks that they have to do. Like the taskmaster asks them to do random shit and bring random stuff in and stuff like that, and they're all just trying to be funny and like do stupid stuff and just like have fun. And it's you got to be like that. Every season's a different cast of 5 people, so it's like it's hit or miss for whoever's there. But it's just fun to like watch. It's an easy one to put on the background too.
Dude, I could use more skit comedy, more improv comedy. I'm down.
Check
for
that one out.
stuff.
You might like it. I like it. It's definitely like fun to watch. Yeah, as far as movies go, I guess I'll just go through some of the ones I've been watching since the new year. Um, I did watch Talk to Me. We haven't talked about that, have we yet? Talk to Me?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, a little bit, just like here and there, I think. But,
Okay. I loved it. That's like one of my
Yeah.
favorite horror movies I've watched in a long time, I think,
I
honestly.
thought,
Like,
I thought I would like it too. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but
I just bought it and rewatched it myself.
really? Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
I'll fucking watch it.
Do it. It's worth it, man. I mean, it hits some of like the standard horror stuff you'd seen,
Yeah,
tropey stuff,
sure.
but like it does it way more effectively. And to me, I guess like the horror gimmick of it all, where every movie has like its own like rules or whatever. This one is just way more interesting. And the way it's the horror, I don't want to spoil anything with this one. The way the horror ties into the end of it is like so perfectly wrapped
Yeah.
that it just like sailed like it just like the love at the end of the movie just was like easy to find for me. So,
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's like a horror movie that like has something to say, not just we spooked you, you know.
Yeah.
Or gross you out. Or,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm so I don't know. I think I've been realizing because like before I wasn't really that into horror, and I'm still like not super into horror. But I think it's just like I like good horror movies,
gotta
like
find the
well
right
written
ones.
stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I just like I don't know. Yeah. So
This
I
is
think I'm
one
gonna-
that it could spawn
Does it
its own
sound good?
series, and I would be there for it as long as it doesn't like dip its like like,
Yeah.
taint its magic like
Right. Right.
Conjuring or something like that. But
Yeah.
and it's made by two like YouTube brothers, and it has some style and it has some like modern flair to it for sure, which is cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, those brothers are like, I think their YouTube channel is dedicated to like crazy
Like stunts and shit. I'm pretty
stunts.
sure.
Yeah.
But they're wild. But they made a cool movie, and I think they're Australian, and it's set in Australia, so it's got like
Yeah.
a cool, distinct like setting too, which is definitely adds to the film.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
too many movies
Very
that,
good.
Yeah.
Australian made or Australian set.
Right. Other than that, I've been going through Alexander Payne movies. Starting to really like them. I would 100% recommend Election if you want to watch any of the movies that he's done.
Okay.
I gave it 5 stars. Fucking excellent, hilarious. I just couldn't find anything wrong with it, and I like.
Oh,
It's one of the
okay.
best comedies I've ever seen, and one of the best satires I've ever seen.
Nice. Okay.
And I would recommend anyone to watch that movie.
All right. Nice.
But yeah, what else? I mean, I did rewatch Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Didn't
I
add
also rewatched
any enjoyment whatsoever to my experience.
Yikes.
Yeah, I feel like watching that again would not be the move. Like
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
not
know.
Good.
I feel like I liked watching it the first time. I feel like I would be bored watching it the second time. And I mean, I
Honestly.
liked it the first time. Like, I don't
What
know.
did you
Yeah.
think about it, Alex? Yeah.
I walked in. My in-laws, they rented it, and I walked in right when it was starting, and yeah, I ended up sitting through the whole 3 hours. So, I mean, I was
Gotcha.
invested from start to finish. So,
This is what I'm talking about. I'm just on like a different wavelength because Oppenheimer is winning awards left and right, and he's like, this like award season is starting up now. It's getting Best Picture. Christopher Nolan's getting Best Director.
I mean, like,
And I'm just
look,
like, dude, Christopher Nolan getting Best Director
we
is
already
like,
said like it's
wow.
not like it had that much competition.
It has competition though. It does have like there are better directors. There are better movies. Like yeah. I mean,
That like came out last year.
I mean, I've rewatched Barbie now like 3 times.
Oh, I did.
That's
I
like
did
my
watch Barbie for
favorite
the first
movie
time.
of the year.
I think we talked
almost.
about it.
Yeah.
I definitely
love
would have
that
put it higher on my list. So
Yeah.
I really agree with that.
And it's
like,
smarter, and the direction is tighter, and the director is like a more of a essential voice to the film, whereas Oppenheimer is like the dude read the book he based it on and spewed it onto a fucking script written in the first person. I just fundamentally think that there's things wrong with that movie, but
I've seen so many people I know like their top list of directors, and so many of them have Christopher Nolan like number one.
He's the new big boy. He's like the new
That's what I mean.
prestige
Damn,
baby
because
that
of
people can like look
Oppenheimer?
at.
I don't know if
Like,
it's
that's,
because
like,
of Oppenheimer,
insane,
because I do
because,
like
like,
some of his movies.
Christopher Nolan is good. Like, he has good movies, but like,
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't put him number one for Oppenheimer.
I
Like,
think they're getting caught
maybe
up in the
something
hype,
else. But
man.
like,
There's
I
some
don't
hype
know.
train I'm not on. I don't know.
Me too.
And it's fine.
yeah.
I'm happy for people who love it and love movies,
Mhm.
but I just don't get it because that movie, like the editing, there's issues. Like there's legitimate issues in the editing, and like to give Christopher Nolan an award for best director when like he won't let you hear physically what he is like, he's breaking filmmaking law, which like break the tropes, you know, break the norms, but like there are certain things that you like I find that don't service like your film then when you're like not functioning correctly. I don't know. The audio, the editing, like the even shot choices, I was just like, bruh. And I don't know. I wasn't trying to hate it either. It just like happened again. I don't know. And I'm like, it's right now. It's higher
Alright,
than
so, like,
Killers of the Flower
what-
Moon, and I kind of
what
respect that
brought-
movie more.
Like, what broke like film law, like specifically? Because you didn't say.
Okay, well, there's one scene I can point to every time that I watch it the second time to like specifically look for, and it's Oppenheimer and Emily Blunt, and they're like they're in New Mexico, and they go and they like talk about like their husband and whatever happened in the war or whatever, and the literal editing back and forth of that scene is I don't know, man. It's terrible. Like it's just like bad. It's like the Taken cut when he's jumping the fence. Yeah, that's the feeling you get when it's like throwing it back and forth of like like these are the cuts that I'm just like, and then I don't know. It's like eating the dialogue because it's like trying to be so smart and on top of it, but it's so cringy. And to me, honestly, the script, like the dialogue is like remedial. Like I'm just shitting on this thing now. We've opened the floodgates, but like it's not smart. It thinks it's like smart, but it's dumping marbles into a bowl and being like, "We got so many nukes." Like I just don't like it that much. But it's it's a craftily made movie. I'll say that.
Yeah. It's a good point. I mean, I'll have to rewatch it because I remember enjoying it a lot the first time. And maybe it's just because the subject matter, like I was like super interested in.
To be honest, I feel like I've just been egging you on because I kind of wanted to just hear what you thought about it.
I was just curious.
That's fair, man.
Like I don't know. I mean, I liked it when it came out, but already, like I said, I don't think I would enjoy it on rewatch. And also, I think like when we were talking about it back in the time, like back in when it came out or when I first watched it, you can like insert my noise clip here. I don't know. I like basically said that I liked it because of all the science shit anyway. So I mean, like I didn't like it for any like Christopher Nolan aspects that he puts in his movies. And also, I don't think that this one was really that deep. I don't know. It did have a message at the end, but like it definitely wasn't as deep or thought provoking as any of his other movies.
Similar to Miller's Crossing, if I can make this connection, it's like a pull out of like a face where Miller's Crossing is a push in, but on Oppenheimer, it's like this epic pull out of when he just talked to Albert Einstein to show you that he's like he's a smart scientist that you're supposed to like because Albert still likes him. It's just like, what am I supposed to feel on his face? I don't feel any. I have not felt anything through the movie. Like, and Oppenheimer's, you just don't understand what he's thinking and feeling. It's like, no, you just made a shit movie. Like, I don't know.
I can kind of see what you mean, just because I remember that like court scene being. It just took. I mean, it took 3 hours to get to the point that everyone kind of knew, which is like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have dropped the bomb.
Yeah, the court stuff in the third hour of that movie, like it just makes no sense to me. Anyway, like it's like, oh, now we were supposed to like pin Strauss with Oppenheimer and make this conflict what you really cared about the whole time, when that's not what you've told me to care about for the first 2 hours. Yeah. I just like don't understand why you think I should care for a full hour. Like
what? Like at what time is like Strauss even introduced in the movie? Because it is.
I mean, he's introduced early in flashback or flash forward.
Okay.
And it's like
Yeah.
fission 1, fusion 2, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Does that mean anything? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like going off now. I didn't even mean to. It just happens sometimes. But
He's triggered, man. Oppenheimer's triggered.
it's that one. It's just like I'm on the wavelength that not many people are on. And it's just weird. You know,
Well,
just
it's
a weird feeling.
interesting, like how you were describing the cuts on that one scene. Like, I don't know. Do you think it's like an attempt at keeping people engaged because there's like obviously like stuff happening or like stuff is changing, so to like draw your attention to it?
It's what
I guess I'm just like,
it's what made
I guess
Nolan
like
successful.
why I'm getting to this is just like, is it? Do you think it has something to do with people's attention spans?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's trying to keep you like moving, and he knows like if he waits too long, he's like losing you. Like if you look at The Dark Knight, I rewatched The Dark Knight like a few months ago, and that movie is like that's like moving way faster than you think it is, and it's just like holy shit, like. But that's why it's good, and that's why like The Prestige, all his like classic shit to me, Inception, these things that just like fire off and keep moving. He's doing that in Oppenheimer. It's just that none of it is written well enough to like keep it like to that level of like prestige or like quality. I'm sorry, but like he needs his brother back to write with him. Like he's a fine filmmaker. He's a great filmmaker, but like he needs like people to help him and tell him no. Like that's my opinion. But
I could see that. I mean, just with that court scene in mind, like there is a lot of stuff that doesn't feel cohesive. I remember that scene with Emily Blunt when they're just like out in the wilderness talking. I remember being like, what am I getting from this? You know? Yeah, like
that scene just triggers people. But
I can remember.
I didn't even
like,
know what they were
like
talking about at the time. I'm like, wait, how is this relevant to like the last scene? Like,
yeah.
There's a lot of that.
I'm sure if I rewatch it, I can pick up on more of those.
And it's like
things.
very coldly jumping. It's like it doesn't even let me invest emotionally in a scene because it's like, oh, now we're going to jump to the person talking about the scene you just saw, but then he's talking to the person because then we're going to jump to the scene in the courtroom. Then we're going to talk about the person talking about the person talking about the person. And it's like, just let me live in the scene. Like, why are you like taking me out every second? Like, But I'll say this. I watched Rebel Moon, A Child of Fire, or whatever the fuck that movie is called.
Matt. Don't tell me it's a good movie. No, I swear to God.
I'm trying to find like the highs here where like Oppenheimer is the gold standard of, epic filmmaking when you compare it to Rebel Moon. So Rebel Moon is just not even
that bad. Okay.
Zack Snyder does not have it, bro. That dude does not have it anymore. Speaking of talking to people who like won't tell that guy no, like that's a guy who needs like someone to fucking stop him.
Snyder.
Yeah, like I had a problem with the Snyder cut. That's where I was like on a whole nother wavelength. I felt similar to this, but like
I don't know why
I'm getting affirmed here with like Army of the Dead and Shot. Like these are terrible movies. So
yeah,
but people like him, Matt.
This one, I think it's kind of people are kind of like.
I don't like those.
Oh
people.
Shit! Seriously? All right, cool.
Even like diehard Snyder fans, I think,
just
are
assume
having
that
trouble
like
with this one.
there's like a whole section of the population that's like really into Netflix shit, and like I don't know, most Netflix shit is bad, but like I assume people would be eating up all this. Like,
there's definitely an audience.
I mean,
it's like
we all
cinematic.
watched Extraction too. I mean,
they got me. I did watch Rebel Moon, so they got me. But no, I mean, it's like attempting to be cinematic in the Zack Snyder style, but it's just so fucking like boring and bad. The characters are terrible. Oh man, slow-mo filters, like flares that are like fucking. It's just like insanity, like visually.
Man, he should have just like hired Michael Bay.
But it's also gray.
Explosions.
I feel like Zack Snyder's become the wannabe Michael Bay. You know,
kinda,
like,
yeah. Except Michael Bay, like you got to give him the credit for the explosions.
He still executes,
you know, like
a little bit. Yeah,
I love Armageddon. It makes no sense, but I love Armageddon.
Yeah,
I'm more
Transformers
kind of guy.
Yeah, Transformers.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Nah, man, I'm just not about it anymore.
Dude, once Zack Snyder decided to take a shit movie and recut it, I was like, what are we doing here, man? Like,
there's another cut for Rebel Moon. There's like an R-rated cut because the dude just can't like functionally make a movie anymore.
All right,
Like, he
what's
doesn't know
next on
how
the
to
list?
do it
What's the
anymore.
next thing
on
you've
the
watched?
Dude's on the.
I don't want to keep talking about this.
No, that's fair, man. Some of these movies, like, they just don't deserve the time anymore to, like, to talk about them or watch them even, I guess.
Yeah,
But,
don't give him the light of day.
yeah.
Yeah, fuck
No,
'em.
I mean, that's
Fuck
really
'em.
it. Election, About Schmidt, another Alexander Payne movie. I'd watch. I'm halfway through his shit, and I really like it. He's like, he can really wring the emotion out of almost anything, like a place, a person, like a feat, like a setting. Like, it's good, really good.
Cool. I haven't really heard about him very much. So.
He's a low key filmmaker. I mean, he just made The Holdovers, and I watched that one
Wow.
first, and I kind of went back, and then now I'm going through his stuff. Just feel good stuff for the most part. Citizen Ruth, Laura Dern just yelling for 2 hours. It's a fine movie, but I'll never watch the movie again. But yeah, I mean, yeah, all the, like The Holdovers is like legitimately like a Christmas classic. I think like a modern Christmas
Okay.
classic. Like
Cool.
I'm gonna watch that at Christmas time. So,
I've heard it's really good.
yeah, it's good.
Same.
Paul Giamatti, really
Mm.
good.
Yeah.
And like, I think what also turned me on to it, I saw that they were playing it at the Music Box, but they were playing it like all fucking month. So like, I assumed it would have had to have been good,
Yeah,
or else they wouldn't play it. So
I think he's winning awards for that role, and same with the supporting actress. I want to say it's like Divine Joy Randolph. I hope I didn't butcher that, but she's really good in it too. It's like it's like very subtle, but like you just got to be there for it, you know.
I watched a roundtable with him.
Hmm.
It was like one of the more recent ones. It was like him, RDJ, Andrew Scott, Mark Ruffalo, Jeffrey Wright.
Hmm.
It was a good one. I like.
I love
watching
those roundtables. Yeah,
Yeah. They're
those are
fun.
like the best interviews I
Insightful.
think you can get,
Yeah.
where you just like get
Like-
like-minded people or similar people to like actually talk about the craft. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. The insights into the industry are peak primo.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Other than that, though, anything else you guys been watching or anything cool?
I think I already said
lot.
like The Godfathers and
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The Boy and the Heron.
What would
You guys
you?
watch Saltburn yet?
Ooh,
We'll.
I
I'll
keep
get
seeing
around to it.
ads for it, and I see that guy, and I'm just
Harry-
like, I
Harry
don't,
Keegan or Jacob
I
Elordi?
don't think I want to. The fucking the guy, he's in Euphoria, and he's like the worst
Yeah.
fucking person,
Jacob
like the
Elordi.
worst human being
you-
ever.
You're thinking of the wrong person for this movie, okay?
Yeah.
Barry Keegan is in it, and he fucking slaps. So
Well, they always show me the
He's
one
got
guy in the
something.
ad though, and it's
fuck
always on my
Jacob
TV.
Elordi. Fuck Jacob Elordi.
That's what
Right.
I'm saying.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
I
fun.
was curious about
I
that.
liked
went in expecting to not like it, but like it wasn't like a wow 5-star movie, not even a 4-star movie, not even 3.5, 3 stars, but it was fun. I had a blast. It was a fun ride.
It's a
So
good time then.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
it was
get
a
around
good
to that one.
atmosphere. It was a good vibe. So
I hear
I
it's
have,
like
like,
very
good-
divisive.
I have like a list of the shit I'm gonna watch over the next week that I've just like been writing down through this episode. I'll put it at the bottom of the list.
below
There we
Rebel
go.
Moon.
Yeah.
That's not on the list. No.
No, that doesn't even make
Okay.
it.
Didn't make the
Fair.
cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Where was
What-
the Boy and the Heron in your Studio Ghibli list, Joe? I'm curious because I haven't seen. That's the only Ghibli movie I've seen, and I really enjoyed it.
I'm kind of wondering if like Miyazaki had like some kind of trauma as a child relating to his mother. Because of how many Studio Ghibli movies there are. Like
Oh, okay.
about like a sick mother of a child or something like that.
Gotcha.
Like I thought it was good. The animation was great. But I don't know. I just gave it a 3.5 because I liked it, but I didn't like. I don't know. It was like really obvious that the other world like basically wasn't really real. Like it
Yeah.
was kind of real, but like it's really just like a coping mechanism for this kid, like in his
Mhm.
brain. And I feel like a part of that kind of like ruined it for me, like the movie, because
Gotcha.
it like I don't know, like I feel like it
Okay.
like stole some of its own magic or like took away some of its own magic that way.
Mm,
I don't
Fair
know.
enough.
But it
Fair
was still
enough.
good, and like yeah, like the premise was interesting, and I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
I love old Japanese shit, so like I don't know.
Yeah, interesting because, like I said, I don't really have much
And
to reference.
I
on
will
it,
say, fucking Robert Pattinson as the Heron, like you can't even tell it's him. That's fucking
but
insane.
I had
Also,
no idea.
Christian Bale as Soichi, the fucking kid, like is insane.
Really?
Yeah, like
Wow.
totally
Okay.
understandable. And
Yeah.
like obviously like Mark Hamill does a good job. He's like the classic
Mm.
old person.
Yeah.
And then like Gemma Khan, or that's on what her name? That's how you say
Yeah.
her name. She was like some voice actor. Like there was Florence Pugh in it. Even Willem Dafoe was in it randomly in some
Yeah.
birds.
Saw that.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It was just kind of interesting, like how many fucking people were voices. Oh, Dave Bautista was in it
Yeah.
randomly. It was a different bird. I don't know. Yeah, it was
Lot of
just kind of
birds.
neat how like they had a shit ton of people in it, like
Birds.
as birds. Yeah, there were
Yeah.
there were like a lot of different kinds of birds.
Nice.
But yeah, it was good. I mean,
Yeah, I'm curious where it stacks up. If it'll like go down after a while. I mean, I haven't even seen Spirited Away or
possibly.
Totoro.
I don't know. I mean,
'Cause I really liked that aspect of like, oh, it's a metaphor for this kid's, for this way this kid's processing stuff.
yeah.
But,
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's most Ghibli movies, right?
Is it?
Aren't they kind of all like this little child is like imagining this world?
Learning some shit about the
Dreamland.
world.
yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
in a way, it is like a mix of My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away,
Okay.
like mashed together and kind of darker.
Yeah, I'll have to get
Definitely
back
watch
to you guys on
Spirited
that.
Away.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I mean,
rewatch
that's the
that one
one.
soon.
Yeah, that's the white whale of Ghibli movies. I feel like I'm gonna watch something soon. Probably that one. Go back to that one. That one or Princess Mononoke or something like that.
Just do Spirited Away.
Yeah, I wouldn't do Princess Mononoke right away.
No,
I didn't like that one that much.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
That one is divisive. The
should
one
we
I
talk
hear
True
people.
Detective then, or any other comments on some final stuff? Or
I don't know. I'm trying to think because I feel like I watched some stuff that I don't know. I mean, I rewatched Cowboy Bebop. Or I
Nice.
finally finished my rewatch. It had been in the background of all my shit. And
I
now
find
just kinda
myself
need to start
rewatching Samurai Champloo a lot. If I go back to like between those two.
Yeah,
that
one's good.
Dude,
you guys watching Blue Eyes Samurai?
No,
No.
that's like on Netflix, right?
I think so. It's on my
Yeah,
list.
I'm just
it out.
like
Yeah.
like with regular shit. I'm probably even more nervous about Netflix anime.
Dude, watch Vinland
because
Saga,
most
man.
of the time it's
That's
really
on my
bad.
list too.
Oh yeah, I'll add it
Vinland
to my
Saga
list.
is and the opening song, fucking banger, and
Yeah.
It's
the
gotta
whole
be for
arc,
anime.
story arc, and
Yeah.
it's good shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just like
If you're good with Studio Ghibli's mom trauma, you get a little dad trauma from Vinland Saga.
yeah, that's fine.
Just
Yeah,
balance
yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
I think like overall, just like anime for me now. I don't know. I think like the end of Attack on Titan just did something to me.
I saw
like,
that the dub is out.
I'm just like talking, like we were back home playing Scape, and I was talking to somebody about it, and they said it was one of the best endings to an anime they've ever seen, and I'm just like, what are you watching?
That's
like,
the wavelength
how?
thing, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It made no sense to me
They're
because
drinking the
that end
Kool-Aid.
was terrible. Like, it was not good. I don't know who started this bandwagon train saying that was good, but like, I talked about it
Fanboys.
before.
Yeah, Attack on
Manga
Titan fanboys.
fanboys.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything more to say. You can just move
That's
on to
good.
True Detective, and I'll watch both episodes for next week.
Hell yeah.
I guess like
it's
if
exciting.
we do end up talking about that, do you want to do another movie chest this week too?
I'm down. But
Yeah.
it's up to you guys. I'll
I'm
draw
down.
it up.
Yeah, I'm down.
Cool.
I can probably squeeze it in. Actually, yeah, I'll have time.
Fuck my dad.
All right. Well, it's good. It's good getting back to it. You know.
Yeah,
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Good,
definitely.
reunion. New Year's reunion.
All right.
Good talks.
Until next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. See you next week.
Later, dudes.
Peace.
Yeah, we can just do like a quick chat about True Detective then, since probably talk about more next week then. But
Yeah, for sure. So I guess what's your first take on it? What are your first thoughts?
I mean, I was at first I was not on board. At first, I thought the writing was not that great, and I was like questioning some of like the ham-fistedness of like the detective work. Like
Yeah,
specifically, she's like looks like he got up to take a piss. For some reason, I just could not get over how she knew he got up to take a piss. But then she's
yeah,
doing stuff with like the mayo or whatever, and I'm like, okay, that's I like that part. I guess that's like detective work or whatever the fuck, and mom work.
yeah.
Anyway, so it started a little like it wasn't like the best detective shit I was watching, but then it found itself and it hooked me, and I found myself. To me, I think this might be early, but I think it might be my second favorite True Detective like season.
Interesting.
But we'll see.
Yeah, no, it's not my favorite. It's better than season 2.
Really.
I think I like season 3 a little bit better. It just
Hmm.
the ham-fisted stuff. That's a good way to put it. But for me, it was like so. Like the first season, you have this like cult, supernatural kind of undertones, and you kind of have to sit and cook with it and let your imagination explore. This felt kind of like, oh, we're kind of trying to do the
It's
same
like
thing,
out
but
in the open.
here's some more of it. And here's a dude doing spiritual. I get
Mm-hmm.
Alaskan people. The I forget what they're called, but
Inuit?
whatever. Yeah, I think that's it. They have their things, and sure, that's fine. It just felt, I don't know, too forced. So with that, it kind of rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. It was a little underwhelming because it didn't feel as like smart or treating us as smart as we are
Yeah.
with like how the first
I, f-
season did.
I found myself like struggling as like an audience member. I was like, there's so much like expectation level with a True
Right,
Detective season now, and especially one
right,
that's coming off of like a 5 year gap where it's like,
right.
oh, now we got something to say again, like, and I was like, do you just like how much DNA do you like extract from like the first season, or do you just like the second season they try to do something completely different? It's basically the same vibe, kind of, but not really. But
Yeah,
like, and then the third one they like get back to kind of basics with the first season,
yeah,
where it's like almost an emulation of that vibe. Um, this one I feel like they have the vibe, they have the DNA, they have like that stuff. I do agree it's more like on the nose and in your face because like it's definitely in the background of the first season.
yeah,
Um, but I find that I like they're heard with the discussion about like religion and stuff like that. They're trying to get these like moments or like these themes and or this darkness out. And to me, I'm liking the links. I can see the links, but like
yeah.
it's hard to do this show. I think at a certain point,
Right.
but
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm there for like weird shit happening and like supernatural kind of undertones. I'm there for that. That shit it makes you think, but just give me a little bit of it and let me kind of fester with it for a little bit. That's what like we talked about with some of Mike Flanagan's work. He kind of lets you explore these ideas yourself without
yeah.
giving it all to you on a plate. So that's just the only thing
So
I'm kind of worried about.
was it like the dude leading the chick out? Was that the moment of like too much and like straight up like
Yeah,
mysticism or?
yeah, it was so the beginning where the guy he's like has a spasm and he says she's coming and then like over the radio it keeps happening again and it's just
Mhm.
kind of like okay, I get it. The first time it was like oh what's happening, but then it happened like 3 more times and it was just kind of like I don't know if you need to keep doing it necessarily. And then when the guy like showed up and obviously since he's like in has no shoes and just long johns and a shirt, I'm like okay he's obviously not
Yeah.
really there.
That's
Um,
funny because I was like, that guy's real. I was just like trying to make guesses the whole episode of like, because I had immediately thought that the dad cop who's like used to be
Mhm.
that dude's in on something, bro. That he
Yeah,
knows something, man. I don't know.
yeah.
It's fun to like make these little guesses, I guess. But
It's see, I felt that way with so I don't know if you saw the Lone Star beer sitting in the outpost, but that's a Texas beer. Like it's brewed in
yeah,
Texas. You can only get it in Texas. That's what
oh,
Matthew McConaughey drank in the first season. So at first I'm like,
hmm,
okay, homage to the first season. But then you go to the one girl, Navarro, she goes and visits the guy from the mine, and he hits it. Says the last of my stash, and it's Lone Star beer. So I'm like, he's probably in on it in some degree. I mean, otherwise, why else would he say, like, make it a point to say it's the last of the beer and it's a Lone Star bottle? So I don't know. That
I
was the only
wonder.
other part where I was just kind of like, I wonder if they're trying to say something or just continue to pay homage to the iconic Matthew McConaughey
The beer.
drinking Lone
Yeah.
Star and smoking
I mean,
cigarettes. You know,
it could just be that, honestly, because like
yeah,
that the visual of him Russ sitting at the table with the beers is just like too hard
it's
to shake. You know, it's just like
yeah, no,
it's like
it's
the
iconic.
show. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But I mean, I didn't even notice that. I like that little link, I guess. But I guess like
yeah,
another mystic moment with the polar bear. I mean, I liked it, but like I could see somebody being like, the mysticism is too forced here, where it's like
yeah,
actually real. I don't know, because like in the first season, McConaughey has these visions and stuff where it's like, is he drug induced, like, or is it like his
right,
flashbacks, drug flashbacks or whatever, stuff like that? Is Carcosa this like darkness actually within, like, like,
yeah.
so I
It's
don't
a
know.
lot more grounded. This one's starting to feel like it's like getting off the ground and kind of going to a different realm.
Maybe,
Um,
yeah,
but
but
which
I
is
think,
fine. It's just True Detective
yeah,
at its core just feels grounded. So if they're
uh,
going somewhere else, I guess. But
yeah, we'll see if they can kind of bring it back to like the reality of it all. I think the
yeah,
setting, like if it's at lifting up, like you're saying, to this like higher, vibe or whatever, like it kind of fits for it to be like literally like Alaskan nowhere land.
but
But
that's kind of where I'm giving it a pass, just because of the setting that it's at. It could work, just
yeah,
because the Arctic Circle, a government like facility where they're kind of just experimenting with,
yeah, it's
biology,
like wildlife,
climate,
yeah, like biology, yeah,
yeah, like what
yeah.
where life
I'm
came from type of shit. So
mhm. I'm curious too. I mean, they give you those little breadcrumbs of the mystery where it's like you see the people and then
mhm.
she's awake or whatever he says, and there's a tongue. Like to me, I'm waiting for like to find out like the people at the facility like had a girl there or something that nobody knew about or some shit. Like
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if it was kind of like Wind River vibes where they like
yeah,
abuse these people and they can get
right.
away with it because of, I don't know, the law is more
Uh,
loose there in Alaska or whatever it is.
I'm hoping the
But
mystery is a little deeper, obviously, just because Wind River, that movie's
yeah,
so effective at saying that message. But
right.
we'll see. But they do like, and like they give you little bits like with the I want to say reindeer. They're like jumping off the cliff.
Yeah,
It's like, what does that mean? Is this some
right,
like? I mean, obviously the people in the facility went out into the cold for some reason to die or to kill themselves or some shit, but they're all
right.
scared for something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they like open these doors for mystery and metaphor, and like it's not filled in yet, but
Yeah,
I think it was a pretty good pilot, honestly, for
yeah.
like,
It was. It was. I just hope that they don't like, if they're gonna take it all the way with like this spiritual stuff and go to a different level, do it and commit to it. Don't say, oh, this is climate change. That's why these animals are jumping off cliffs, and that's why polar bears are showing up in towns for the first time. And like, commit to one. I don't know. Don't kind of
I'm just
waver, because
wondering.
this idea of a guy coming to you in visions and stuff, that's its own lane. Like, if you're gonna do that, commit to it and stay in it, and I'll be there for it. But
Mhm, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I wonder like what it means to me. It's almost like mass psychosis into suicide is what I'm getting, but like,
the I kind of
yes,
hope that's where they go, like the nighttime of Alaska. Like, you have that extended period of darkness, and you know,
drives you
you,
to a place of
right,
darkness. Like,
right.
that's cool. I like
That's
that.
why I'm kind of like on board with the idea of it kind of being less grounded, just because of the setting, like we said
Hmm.
before. But
It seems like I mean, with the mystery when they find the bodies, it kind of threw me back to, I read a story like called, it's like about the Dyatlov Pass or something like that.
mhm,
It's like this Russian story, I want to say in like the 50s or 60s, but basically a bunch of people went hiking into the mountain um, in the snow and shit, and then like
mhm,
they went missing. When people found the camp, there was like body, like people had like stripped naked and ran miles, and like people had like stuff in their mouths, and like they don't know what happened, but it's
Right.
like they went crazy and like hypothermia and thought they were like needing to shed clothes, or people were getting terrorized, and it's just I feel like they like took that mystery and kind of like put it into the show a little bit too, where it's like
Yeah.
these people just went out and they don't know why or like how, and now we
Oh
got to
yeah.
figure
I
it out.
mean,
Like,
that's kind of stuff is super interesting. Same with whatever that fucking island is where the people just disappeared and nobody knows, like
yeah,
whatever happened to them and things like that. So yeah,
yeah,
there's potential there. I'm not down bad on it. I'm just hoping that it can elevate itself to my expectations of what True Detective is, and not just be True Detective colon Night Country, and it
yeah.
just using the
Cold
True
country.
Detective name to gain traction and gain
Yeah.
views.
I will say, the intro sequence, I found it didn't really capture me in the way that the
Yeah.
first season. I liked the Billie Eilish song, but to be quite honest, they played a song like 5 minutes after that where it was like it was like 1, 2, boy, girl, some shit like that, and
Yeah,
I was like, that should have been the intro song. Like that is way more like
yeah, I agree. I feel that for
evocative
sure.
of that vibe of that show, but I don't know.
Yeah,
And
no, I feel
the
that for
editing
sure.
of that sequence, the opening sequence, just wasn't as impactful as I thought it could have been. But
Agreed.
they tried.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see, man. It,
Yeah.
it might it might it might surprise me. I'm on
But like
board. So
last comment, what'd you think of like the two leads? I guess like
I really like Jodie Foster's character. She seems more likable and a character I wouldn't mind. I think the other character is a little bit too unlikable right now. I mean,
rough.
maybe hopefully she'll be have an arc and
Mm,
be less of like I don't know. She just you can have. We've mentioned it before. I've mentioned it before. You can have a nice, strong female lead without her being just obnoxious and kind of just a dick. I don't know. Make her kind of charismatic. Like Jodie Foster is that for me in this. Like
mm,
strong older woman lead, and I
kind of over
respect
it.
the character, and it's like I can hang with her. The other one is just like, is she gonna kick me in the nuts? Is she gonna punch me in the face? Is she gonna say hi to me? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, I like these two. I like the two setups. Like,
mhm.
obviously, it like harkens to like a little bit of the Russ and um,
Yeah,
Marty. Like,
yeah,
you want to get these two distinct like characters with like obviously different perspectives and ages and stuff like that. I don't know. I think the chick has like a distinct vibe and look and style of her acting that is hooking me. I think Jodie
mhm.
Foster obviously is fantastic, and it's cool to see her like Silence of the Lambs take almost like 20 to 30 years later, like
Right, right, yeah,
so that's cool. I don't know. I like the setup of the main two. I
yeah,
hope the main um I just can only think of her like piercings, like the piercings chick,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I hope she does have like a pretty decent journey. I'm sure we'll
I'm
get
hoping
there,
her
but
arc makes me like her more.
yeah.
I don't know. I like somewhat likable characters. The only other comment I didn't really care for is like they're setting up these characters, and I get they want to give them story and life and like dimension, but flashbacks, I don't know if they're gonna cut it for me. I don't know. They just seem kind of like an afterthought of like trying to help us understand these characters. Just
Get that
leave the
with her
flashbacks
and
out of it.
her like sister or whatever. Are you talking?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
didn't
Her
even realize that was a
sister, Jodie
flashback at first.
Foster, quick flashback to like an accident. Apparently, her whatever the daughter is of
Mm,
hers that she's watching. There was obviously some sort of drunk accident
some
in the
accident. Yeah,
past.
yeah.
Um, it's just like with can't help but compare to the first season, but like with Russ when he goes back to his undercover way, like you don't get a flashback of what it was in undercover. He just is like, this is what I used to be. I don't really want to go back to it, but he does,
Mm,
and then you experience it in the moment. Like kind
that's
of
fair.
bring that into it more.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm all
Yeah,
for a good flashback here and there, but I don't think it works as well
that's
in
fair.
this.
Yeah,
Yep.
it threw the rhythm off of the episode slightly. I will.
Yeah,
I think I agree with that. Yeah. But it's just nice to have some HBO Sunday back, man. That's
yeah,
just like a
yeah, for
vibe I
sure.
love in my life. So,
When I got the TV time notification, I was like, hell yeah,
yeah,
True
that's good.
Detective.
Nice, man.
So,
Well, yeah, we'll talk more next week on episode 2 then. Yeah.
yep, yeah, sounds
All
good.
right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk